And I think as moms, it is so easy for us to put that pressure on ourselves of like, I need to do everything perfectly.
I feel like I'm tired all the time.
It's not easy to talk to a baby necessarily. It feels like talking to yourself. I don't mind doing that.
The solutions to our challenges are spiritual things.
It is fun. It's not a mundane thing. That really makes it worthwhile.
Hi everyone, it's Alisa.
And I'm Jen.
And we're here from Captivated by Him. And on this channel, we talk about how we can be captivated by God and how we can glorify God in all areas of our life. And speaking of which, for today's video, we're going to talk specifically about the area of motherhood, because both Jen and I are moms, and how we want to stay captivated by God in that particular area of our life, because it can get challenging as moms.
Yes, it is not all fun and games. There is a lot of work involved in motherhood, even though it is fun.
Yes, we love our kids.
Time. Yes, but there's definitely very real challenges that God sovereignly puts in our lives so that we can grow and depend on Him. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, so I think the challenges in motherhood do change a lot, especially as your children grow, because children are changing all the time, right? The moms who have teenagers at home have probably very different struggles from a mom who has a newborn. And for me, my daughter is a year old, so the challenges I had in the beginning are a little different to the challenges I have now, but they do exist, right? And I think one of the challenges is as she grows and as she learns, how do I keep teaching her well? Because I don't always know if she can understand what I'm saying, and I want to be diligent to train her up, as it says in Proverbs, and to teach her the ways of the Lord, but I don't know how much she comprehends, and I'm like, okay, is she able to understand me? You know, is she able to understand and make the connection of like, hey, this is right, or like, this is wrong? But I still want to teach her, and I think like that's the challenge of, okay, am I doing it right, so to speak? You know, like if I'm making the wrong call, maybe I'm like disciplining her when she's like, why am I being disciplined? Or maybe I missed something and maybe I think it's appropriate to discipline her, but then she actually just like didn't do anything from a sinful attitude. It's hard to discern sometimes when you can't communicate with them yet, and I think sometimes it can feel stressful that, oh, am I doing it right? And like, am I doing the right thing? Because I want to do what's right, but it can get easy to get caught up in the practical parts and thinking about, oh, like, this is what I need to do. No, wait, this is what I need to do. And then kind of forget about what's the heart and what's my intention in it. And if I have the right heart, then trusting that, you know, God is working through that too.
And even remembering God's sovereignty in it, that it's like, we are not perfect. We're not going to know every single thing already. But God does know, and He's sovereign over our child's life, even like whether or not they will be saved in the future. Right. And I think as moms, it is so easy for us to put that pressure on ourselves of like, I need to do everything perfectly, and even comparing ourselves with other people. I know for me, sometimes I can kind of look at how things are going with my children and think, why is my son like not doing this or this correctly, being bad? And then that's like frustrating because I'm like, that person's kids are doing well, and now what are other people going to think of me? Rather than trusting that if I'm doing the right things in faith and I am training up my child using the Bible and trying to teach him God's word, then what more can I do? I'm doing my best.
Right. Yeah, and also being able to share that with your child as they grow older in their comprehension too, right? Your son is a toddler, so of course his understanding is different from when he was, you know, a little tiny baby. I remember when he was so small. But that as they grow, you also get to have those conversations with them. So I'm excited for that, but I think the challenge right now, it can be getting stuck in the weeds sometimes. And like you're saying, you know, even sometimes perhaps comparing. But I think another thing too is that even though I think sometimes I have the challenge of stressing out too much about the details of like the practical of, do I do this, do I not do this, what's the right thing to do? I can also swing to the other side where I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, so I just don't feel like doing anything. And I think that's another challenge, perhaps especially with a younger child, because I feel like I'm tired all the time. And it's easy to let my physical energy control what I end up doing in my day, where I'm like, okay, like I know I need to get this done, like, you know, I want to, you know, do this in the house, or I want to get this done for ministry, or, you know, I need to take care of this thing for my child. But like, because of my tiredness, I can get into this lazy mindset of like, oh, like that can just wait, or like not put in as much effort as I really should because of my tiredness, you know. And I think that particularly is something that has kind of like followed like throughout like newborn season into like, you know, as my daughter is growing, like you're just always tired. And so not letting that control my thoughts, you know, not letting that control my emotions and really my decisions and my actions during the day too.
And I think that's really important to note for moms, because it is a transition. Like, it is always gonna get busier when you go into motherhood, and I think you can take it different ways. You can go to the extreme of like, oh, I'm gonna be lazy about it, but like even going the other way, like I think for me with my youngest, when she came, it definitely was like different on my time, because now I have a toddler and then I'm also nursing, and she was having nursing problems. Now she's having sleep problems. Like, it's been difficult to get her to nap, and I think for me it more causes stress, where I'm like, oh, this is taking a lot of time, and then I feel anxious because then I'm like, I don't have time to do this or this or this. But both ways, whether you're stressed about it or lazy about it, it's just not having the mindset of God is sovereign over our time. We should be using all of our time for Him, whether that's in taking care of our children or resting, which is also necessary.
Yes.
But then if we're not doing any of those things with God in mind, and we're doing it out of laziness or just out of anxious toil, none of that pleases God either.
Right. And I think it's very reactive, where you kind of see like, oh, this needs to get done, so I should do this, or like, oh, I feel tired, so like I like don't want to do this. So there's a lot of reaction to things, where it really should be motivated by thoughts centered around God, and really thinking about God and being willing to make the sacrifice if you're tired, and then if you're anxious, like being willing to find peace and set those kind of details aside and like really find focus on the Lord. And I think for me, something that was really encouraging, especially like when I do feel really tired and like really want to be lazy, is the example of Christ and how He really prized sacrifice and how He loved us. And you can see that in Hebrews 12 verse 2, that says, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before Him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And I love that. I think that's so convicting to see Christ's own example, that He saw enduring the cross as a joy because He loved us so much. And I think the same, where if we love God so much, then, you know, it should be a joy to be able to sacrifice my energy for Him, whether that's in, you know, raising up my children in the fear of the Lord, or whether that's, you know, working in ministry and serving the church, or whether that's tending to the home and being responsible as a wife, that it's God who's given me these things to steward, so it should be a joy for me to do that. And I think that's what I really want to keep holding on to, especially, you know, like, because the tiredness doesn't like kind of like magically just go away, right? Like, especially I'm sure as you have more and more kids, there's more and more to juggle. So it's so necessary, I think, for me to hold on to this now and get that nailed down now, so that I set a habit as, you know, the years go on and as my daughter grows, that even when I feel tired, even when I feel tempted to be lazy, that I can see sacrifice as a joy because I love God.
Yes, that is super good. Focusing on the sacrifice of Christ. And I think another really good place to go for comfort and encouragement during those times is the church, Christ's body. That's, I think, a common struggle for moms, and for myself too. I think it can be lonely being a mom, especially a new mom, when you're not used to it. Like, you used to go to work and suddenly
see people more. You see more adults and have more adult conversations, and then soon your life is full of a baby.
Yeah, it's not easy to talk to a baby necessarily. I know a lot of people have trouble getting used to. It feels like talking to yourself. I don't mind doing that, but
It's
like,
fun, but yeah, you do need to have interaction and have friendship because that is so important.
Yeah, and especially for me lately with my 2 children, and my husband is working in person. So he used to work from home, so I could at least say hi, and it feels like I have some adult interaction. But with him not there, it can be easy to feel like I'm not talking to many people and lose sight of prioritizing talking to the church, that being invested with people in the body, where I can actually not only encourage others, but find comfort there. So if I'm neglecting that, I'm missing a really big part of my life.
Right.
And I actually had a verse that I was thinking about, also from Hebrews. Hebrews 10:24-25 says, "And let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our own assembling together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." And this verse is still true for moms. We shouldn't forsake meeting together and neglect the church just because we're busy with our children. Because not only are we supposed to serve in the church, and exercising your spiritual gifts only towards your family is not a thing. We know from the Bible that our spiritual gifts were given for the common good. So not only are we neglecting to do that, but we also don't have the comfort of other people pouring into us if we are not meeting together with the church. So something that has been comforting, and I do have to, make that sacrifice and that effort to go out and continue to invite people over to my house even when I'm tired, or to go out and meet together with other moms, but it's really worth it.
Yeah.
Because no one should be lonely, and not have people even praying for them or encouraging them with the word.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it's so common. I've definitely run into other moms who feel like really lonely because they haven't had friends, maybe friends are in different life stages, or maybe their friends live far away and they just feel really alone in that season of life. But like you're saying, even more so, not just having friends, but having friends in the church where they have that intentionality to pour into your life spiritually, and not just having an adult conversation about something random, but really having that deep intentional fellowship really makes a difference. And I know even for myself that sometimes, I might be like, oh, I'm feeling really tired. Okay, I gotta go meet up with someone. And you feel so much better afterwards. You feel so much more refreshed because you just see how God is working in someone else's life, and being able to talk about God is so stimulating.
Yeah, the spiritual comfort.
Right. And I think the challenges that we're talking about in motherhood, right? They are spiritual. They're not just, oh, I'm not feeding my kid enough, or I don't have enough time, but it really comes down to the fact that the solutions to our challenges are spiritual things. Just because we're moms doesn't mean that we have necessarily really different struggles. They might look a little bit different in our season of life, but it comes down to the heart, really thinking about, are we focusing our lives around God? Are we really filling our mind with thoughts of God in how we parent, in how we make decisions, in how we go about our day? And those are the things that really make motherhood fun and really exciting. And if we don't do that, that's what makes motherhood challenging.
You're right, that it is fun. It's not a mundane thing. When we think about everything in life that is a spiritual thing and something that we use to glorify God, then even if you're going through every day, changing diapers and nursing, and you feel like that's all it is, you can continue to think about God, to put your emotions in the right place, to continue to think about the church and pray about people, and that really makes it worthwhile. And so we're just sharing our struggles with you, but there are so many other things that I'm sure people go through in motherhood, but all of those can really be answered in the Bible.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I think, what our channel is really all about staying captivated by God. And that really, again, is what life is all about, whether you're a mom or not. So, hopefully this is encouraging to you as a viewer. Again, whether you're a mom or not, you can still think about how the challenges that you face in your season of life can be solved by the word. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you aren't already subscribed to our channel, please do if you want to see more videos like this. And we just really appreciate that you're here with us. So until next time, stay captivated.